If he'd have put Andy Burnham in, would have won it.
Yeah.
But Starmer was frightened of his job. He was frightened of his seat. Don't get me wrong, she's a nice girl to talk to. But they've lost a lot of votes from here.
There's a real mixed opinion. So we spoke to a few Green Party supporters who are obviously ecstatic. We've briefly spoken to a few Reform supporters who aren't that keen on their new MP.
Basically, I'm born and bred here all my life. I've lived in Manchester all my life. I'm just sick of the way the country's gone. Are they going to really do anything for Denton, or is it going to be all Gorton? Because nothing really happens in Denton. I'm going to be honest. We don't really get much here. No disrespect, but they tell us anything to get us to join any party, whatever it is, Reform, Green Party or whatever. They tell us this to get us in. I mean, Keir Starmer promised the pensioners they'll still get the heating bill. That was cut. So that's a damn lie.
So you just think nothing's going to happen?
Nothing's going to happen. Never does. I believe it when I see it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fantastic. I think she represents working people. I think a lot of Reform candidates represent working people. The one people that don't are the Labour Party, the party of the millionaires and the billionaires. Same old party politics.
There's still a lot of anger towards Labour as well. People saying that Andy Burnham should have been brought in as candidate. That's what lost it for Labour, and people blaming Starmer for that because he was on the NEC board that blocked Burnham from running. But yeah, that's essentially the consensus here, that it's a mixed bag, loads of people having many different opinions, and everyone we spoke to pretty much said something different. So there's not a lot of consistency.
I voted for the Greens.
You voted for the Greens, so you're happy with the result then?
Yeah, I'm happy with the result, yeah.
And do you think things could have changed if Andy Burnham was the candidate
No.
for Labour?
No.
And why is that?
Because it's Labour, not because it's Andy Burnham, it's Labour, and that's it. If Andy Burnham was in another party, then he might have got it.
And what do you hope that Hannah can bring for the town of Denton?
Well, we've just got to wait and see, haven't we, really? We hear of all these things what they're going to do and that, but none of them ever turn out.
We don't have that anymore. We don't have a community. At one time we had a little market on here every Saturday.
So you said you haven't seen the results of the election.
No.
I think the Greens one.
Okay.
Is that good news for you?
Yeah.
Did you vote for the Greens?
Yeah, I did.
Well, why was it that you voted for them?
I feel that we were most heard from the Green Party. I feel like it was a tight race this year round, in particular in regards to the three-way nature of it all. There was a concern about other parties from my perspective, and Greens meant the most personally to me. Speaking about the other parties, I feel like a lot of Reform's policies, or at least what they were advertising, was to do with division. And I don't know whether this is right or wrong, but I feel like Labour are playing catch up to try and buy votes. From my perspective, again, I feel as though Greens, for me, stayed consistent throughout. There was things I was hearing more recently, but the nature of their policies and the way they wanted to go about things was more consistent. I lost confidence in Keir Starmer, to be completely honest. It wasn't somebody where I voted in. When we were growing up and I wasn't able to vote, my parents were a Labour generation. And then when it came round to us, it was quite disheartening to see that there wasn't much difference between the Labour and Conservatives for students growing up in that sort of generation at that time. And then now I feel like it's going to be a complete switch in people's mentality, where outside parties, like the Green Party, they didn't get really much of a sniff when we were growing up. I'm more in line with my generation now. I'm Muslim. You feel marginalisation your whole life. Sometimes it's micro, sometimes they're macro aggressions. Nowadays, I feel like macro and micro aggressions are all the same, and people are more and more brave about holding their standpoints, which now I kind of see it as like a positive thing. As beforehand, it was kind of like in the closet, whereas now it's kind of getting drawn out and it's easier to see. The Green Part, the Reform Party's policies on this, and it's always been the same. It was the same thing with the Brexit referendum, where they pushed this narrative of hate, or division or trying to alienate certain groups. Instead of trying to find or narrow the gap and bridge the differences, they're focusing on the gaps, and that's the kind of thing that draws on people's fears, which I completely understand. But the outside perspective of that is there's billions of Muslims around the world, and if there was going to be serious damage done by the Muslim faith or the Muslim people, you'd see that. It wouldn't be this covert operation that Reform party leaders are trying to push, that is happening behind closed doors and all this kind of stuff. It's all nonsense.
Seen the results of the by-election this morning?
Yeah.
So you said that the Green Party won. Are you happy about that, or?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Are you surprised that they won?
No.
Did you vote
Just don't think the Greens are the right people.
for the area?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you both from? Gorton. Yeah. So and how long have you been here?
Oh, I
Yeah.
going back.
Since we was born, really, yeah.
So you've seen obviously Labour have been here for a very long time. Do you think they've kind of done the right thing in the area, or were you not voting for Labour this time?
I wouldn't vote for
You
Labour.
won't vote for Labour
No.
again?
General feeling is that we need to see what Hannah Spencer can do for Denton, and the proof will be in the pudding in the coming months and years.
I'm so honoured that you've chosen me as your Green Party MP to represent you in Parliament, and I promise I will work so hard to deliver for you. I can't wait to get started and work to influence policy that makes lives better for people like us, to bring down the cost of living, introduce rent controls and get the litter and fly tipping off our streets. I couldn't be more proud to represent Gorton and Denton, and by that I mean the whole of Gorton and Denton. I'm so proud that we fought a really positive campaign against the Reform Party that dances to the tune of their billionaire donors who don't want to pay their fair share of tax, and against the Labour Party who also stooped so incredibly low. We want an alternative to the stale, broken, old two-party politics, and that is the Green Party. I don't want to dwell on it for too long, but I have been appalled at some of the divisive, dog-whistling campaigning from other parties. I know in my heart, and everyone knows here, everybody here belongs. Everybody deserves to have their needs met. Everyone deserves a voice in our democracy. And today, the people here in this constituency have sent a very clear message. We've rejected hate and embraced the politics of hope. Not blind hope, hope that is rooted in an ambitious but very achievable plan to transform our country for the better. It's what we've been doing for a really long time, which is listening to people, and that's going out on the doorsteps, as we've done thousands of times in the last few weeks, and that I've done for a number of years when I've been in politics, because that's how we find out what people are worried and concerned about. And I want to make sure that we shift what politicians look like and how accessible we are. I know a lot of people I know have such a low trust in politicians, and we've seen that again, so many people have told us that over the last few weeks. And I know that being present and listening to people and inviting people to come to me and to us, also going out into the communities that are underrepresented and do feel let down, is the way that we can restore and rebuild trust.